Hey, what's up, nerdies? English Dave here. In the second part of our Bring It On Back to the Feature, we take a deep dive into the film itself, breaking down the film into its three acts. Thanks, guys, for listening, and as always, keep it nerdy. The synopsis is as follows. So if you guys haven't rewatched the film again, go back, rewatch the film, then come back for this second part. Synopsis is a champion high school cheerleading squad discovers its previous captain stole all their best routines from an inner city school and must scramble to compete at this year's championships. This movie opens with a very iconic moment, right? Torrance's dream. And it's almost like, having not seen this film in a long time, it almost pulled me out of it. I was like, whoa, is this that kind of comedy? Because I thought that, I didn't realize it was a dream.
Right, yeah.
So you
didn't know that?
No, I forgot, so I didn't realize it was a dream. So I was
wow.
Not until she popped up topless. I was like, oh.
Right?
Wow.
I was like, oh.
Check out the boobs!
I was like, why is everyone staring?
God!
I was like, why is everyone staring at the fucking camera? Stop staring at the camera. Like, what is going on here? What kind of movie is this? Fun fact, though.
Stop breaking the fourth wall!
Gabrielian says because a lot of the background dancers were actual dancers from music videos and things like that, they were always looking at the camera. They had to be told stop looking at the camera, because when you're doing a music video, you look at the camera. When you're acting, it's a different story.
That's true.
So they had to kind of get everyone to kind of change that. This first act, we're introduced to a lot. We're introduced to the fact that she's worried about becoming a cheerleading captain. B, she becomes the captain. We're introduced to her boyfriend Aaron, which it's almost like he's introduced as this overly nice guy, that he's annoying because he's nice. And you just realize, nope, he's an asshole.
I feel like it's not genuine.
It's like everyone.
Acting.
That's the post commentary. Everyone knows that he's an asshole except for her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I like the thing. It moves along. We get little moments with Missy questioning, or her mother questioning. Maybe you should have more than just cheerleading. Maybe you should have more in your life. And this movie kind of. It almost hits that. That's her journey.
I am just cheerleading.
Right.
Like, I wish I could tell my mom. Like, could you
cheerleading.
imagine arguing with your mom about what classes you could take and being like, fine, I guess, will that make you happy? Like, my mother would have taken that book, the catalog, and said, this is what you're taking. Sit your ass down. Like, there would have been no conversation.
Seriously.
Right. And I spoke the previous part. My favorite moment where Carver falls and gets injured, breaking her neck, which gives him a reason, which is almost the inciting incident to give him a reason to get someone new. And initially, you don't know that Cliff is brother to Missy, so you just think they're two separate people. But I did like Cliff's introduction.
I love Cliff's introduction. Loser. His whole, I'm sorry, was that a loser sneeze? Is that circa 89? It was pretty great. I love that moment because it's like he's the anti-jock, and it's kind of established in that scene. He is the, polar opposite to your typical tool that goes to this school. Therefore, he would stand out amongst a class of douchebags to Torrance. And I like that. And I like that it shows that, she kind of, she's ready for new things. I think it's a slight little hint. Because, her boyfriend left for school, and it's like a subtle way of introducing the love interest. It's like, this is why she would like him.
What I also like, to backtrack a bit, you just mentioned that now, her boyfriend going to school. I like the moment where, even though he's a dick, he's that kind of dick that wants to have his cake and eat it too. Because he's like, next year, you're going to come and join me. Like, did she say she wants to go to that college? It's like
exactly. Yeah.
Did anyone notice why he had his stuff to move into college and he was still going to high school that morning? Like, where are you going?
I think he was just dropping her off.
I think he was dropping her off.
Oh, okay. Because I was like,
and then he was like going to his dorm after.
And he was like, peace. I'm out.
Bye.
Bye.
And also that girl Carver, she broke her leg in three places, not her neck. So that's why I never understood why she has the neck brace on when she gets to the paramedic thing, because they're like, oh, she broke her leg in three places. Well, why did you make it look like she died?
She fell on the broken leg, then broke her neck.
The broken neck was after.
She's clumsy. Right.
I guess
I imagine now she fell because what's his name? That dude kept on having spirit fingers with the
He was trying to thumb her.
He thumbed the other girl. First of all, did anybody notice that he definitely
I will say that did not hold up for me. I was like, that is fucking harassment.
Wow. That's rape. Did you just finger a girl?
You just
in public?
In public? Wow.
I was really just like, that is mortifying.
The only reason they almost, and I'm using this quote, I'm using air quotes here, that they almost get away with that is that it's almost implied. You could read it at least implied that off screen they have like those two have a thing like it's
Yeah,
really-
exactly.
because
That's
she
the
was, like,
only reason
she
I
was
kind of
flexing
allow
her
it.
ass in front of him and shit like
Because
that.
all I could think was like, okay, as long as he doesn't do that to like everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
Doesn't mean you do that, but it's probably not the first time.
No, yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
even the way she was flirting with him, like sticking her butt in his face, stuff like that. Like, so it's like,
messing with her panty line. Like, okay, so there's definitely like signs that she wanted it, but still, it was just like,
yeah, that one's
Still.
fine.
it was
With
weird
her,
to see on
as long as
screen
it's
with
not-
because
Like,
remember they're
it-
supposed to be teenagers, not like adults.
right? And it should have
Yeah,
been
as
more.
long as it's like not going beyond her,
I
and it's
feel
not
like-
like a team-wide, female-wide thing. Then
I
it's
feel like
still
the creepy
creepy.
side.
Yeah.
I feel like the creepy side is him bragging about it to others. That's
Oh
what
yeah,
makes it
definitely
creepy.
don't talk about it.
Yeah, don't
Because
talk
then what
about
if someone else starts doing it? Because then
That's what
if
makes it
someone that
creepy.
she don't know like that,
Right?
you know,
Right?
Just keep
that's
saying
rape.
That should you keep it between the two of you. That's your thing, whatever. Don't because now you're talking about everyone. You're gonna normalize it as if it should. Be
Yeah, we don't
It
even
almost-
normalize.
Because what if everyone starts? Oh, okay, you know, it's not. That's not cool.
It almost got an
But you
R rating
always-
because of that.
Oh yeah.
They had a sniff, and they're like, "You gotta take that out," and they're like, oh, "Okay."
Wow.
They're like, "Okay, now you're fine. Now it's PG-13."
That's so
That
nasty.
Would have been
Yeah.
an R rating.
Oh,
Ew.
it's so gross. Yeah, it's great.
I love the moment though that Missy's trial. I did like the whole moment.
I was gonna say I love the whole audition sequence. I feel like when the auditions come on, even if the movie's on in the background, like now I have to pay attention for these next like 5-10 minutes. Also, random fun fact: it cost $60,000 for them to license Cherry Pie for that one scene.
Damn.
As far as they were concerned, it was the perfect song for that scene because it was equal parts ridiculously raunchy and also like childish.
Might as well
So
just
they
get them to
felt like
perform it live. Wow.
for this teen raunchy audition, like Cherry Pie was perfect. And I can't lie, I cannot like
Every time I see
separate
it, I
the
was like,
song
damn,
from
she
that
went for it.
audition. Like to this day, if I hear the song, I think of that audition and actual Cherry Pie all at the same time.
And actually, Cherry Pie.
I feel like in another
All at the same
movie.
time.
I feel like in another movie, she's the lead that we follow. You
I
'cause-
wished she was the lead because she's far more interesting to
Yeah.
me than Torrance. Because I wanted to know like where were her parents? They're just never
Right?
home.
Where the fuck?
You know,
get
this
here?
girl's got an interesting life. I want to know what she's doing. 'Cause she got a free crib at all
Not just that.
times.
Yeah.
Her
I
life
feel
must
like-
be insane.
Right.
She's not even a student.
But I also
Torrance's
feel
parents
like
are
Just
home,
need something to do
so
with
you know.
I also feel like all of them, like the whole cheer team, like there's no teacher or coach. They kind of just manage themselves. Is that-
Right,
Yeah.
I thought about that too. I was like, why don't you guys have a coach?
Like, they just
I've
manage
never heard
themselves.
There's no like
Operating on its own.
manager, no nothing. No one even holds the equipment.
This
Like
isn't
Right?
college.
There's not
This
even a
isn't
teacher in
club.
charge of anything. It's just like you guys figure out yourself. Just do it.
There are just no
Nothing.
adults in the movie.
No
Except
guidance.
for like those two parents. of
Except
Torrance.
true.
Torrance's parents who were
It
trying to
just
tell
hit
her to
me.
get
What
an
did we see?
education.
One teacher, and that was like at the very beginning in the
Maybe the
classroom.
beginning.
Yeah, I
Cliff?
think there's maybe a teacher in the classroom because we might see. I don't know if we see. No, yes, the teacher when she mispronounces. Cliff's
Yeah,
name.
she says pant
That's what I'm
one,
saying.
and it's clearly panettone, and it's like, really?
And
Pantone.
one.
Pant
Pant one.
one.
Antoine, like homegirl. Come on, you know it's not
Where'd you get your education?
And another thing that
exactly. That's
another
cool.
thing that kind of missed out on to move forward. You know, when Missy finally takes Torrance to go and see the Clovers, I always assumed for some reason that I don't know why, but that Missy came from that school. But it's like no, Missy's old school had competed against them before. That's how Missy knew about them. And
Yeah,
and-
she's in a different school district.
yeah. I did like that, but I did like the whole confrontation moment because you get both sides, right? You get Torrance's side, like I didn't know about it. Shit, I'm a victim here too. You know, then
Yeah.
it's like yeah, bitch, but you victim because of choice, not
Yeah.
because.
I
like
also
that
didn't really realize all the like Dyke references the
Oh,
first
yeah.
time around. Like I've seen this movie a million times, but like for whatever reason, like when she says Uber Dyke, like she doesn't pronounce the D, so it almost sounded like Uber Hag. So I was just like, whatever. But like I had the captions on this time, so I was
Raven's
like,
why
Uber
do they get hiking
Dyke.
all the time? Why do I hiking all the time? Uber
Like
hikes.
rewinded it, like what?
What are these hags?
You know, and there's so many
Hikey.
times in the movie where she was like dykadelic, like just dyke. I was like, yo, she was trying to call her a lesbian this whole time. That's so crazy because I was like, yo, Missy's so cool. Interesting. But yeah, like, you know, years later, I'm like, makes sense. Yeah, that's my favorite character.
The final part of this first act. It's one I found interesting, right? Because it starts off with, Torrance goes and tells her teams like, hey, Big Red's been stealing all this shit. The team's first reaction, so. And I love, because that speaks to
Lazy
so
kids.
much.
They're
Yeah.
like,
It does.
We got to
They don't even
start
care.
over.
It's just like, oh, we have to do this. It's going to inconvenience us.
Work.
Oh, it's going to
Yeah.
inconvenience you for a few days. People have been inconvenienced for years. It speaks to what's going on today in the world. Right? You get some people who, Mike, I'm sure you've been in this kind of conversation where you as a white person is becoming, you're becoming aware of certain things, and then you're trying to tell fellow white people, maybe even family, and they're just like, you're making a big deal out of it. Like, too much of a big deal.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Tell them to
Stop
stop.
Also, I feel like I have to mention, because it matters, like the moment where they were when they were at East Compton, Torrance and Missy, and Torrance's whole world came crashing down, and then the girls come out of the gym and confront them. That fear, I was scared for them. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna fuck them up. And honestly, they would have been completely justified. Like, I was like, do it,
Long time coming. Yeah.
But even just the moment of like, them keeping it back, and the moment of like, because unlike them, we have class. I can't lie, because I was younger, it blew my mind, because they said we have class. They were standing in front of a school. I thought they had to go to school, like they had night school or some shit. I really didn't think of like, I didn't think of like classes and like hierarchy, It's like, watching it again, I was like, oh shit. That makes sense.
You white kids don't even learn anything.
Yeah, I was like, damn, they got night school. Maybe they got like babies or something. That's crazy. But yeah, it changed. Watching this, I was like, damn. But I did love that, because I feel like even that moment, because you have the polar opposite effect happen back to back. You have the East Compton girls that are too proud to reduce themselves to the level of, scrapping or even like getting into an argument back and forth with these girls. They're like, I'm not even, it's not worth my time. Fuck it. Like, I'm gonna leave it alone. We're gonna beat you this year. That's it. And then you go to, Rancho Carne High School, and there's no pride at all. There's no, oh, let's be better than that. Instead, the response is like, we're fine. We're gonna keep doing
it's
this.
not just
like
like,
a
it's like,
wet
so
towel
what? So what if you've been stealing? Everyone does. It's unspoken rule. No one cares. What I like about this is what happens next, right? They decide, nope, we're not going to change anything. They go to the football game. What happens? Well, the Clovers come and show them up in front of everybody.
Yeah. I was reading an article, I think in was it Vanity, and they were discussing how that scene ended up becoming a staple years from now, for 20 years now, of a prime example of white appropriation, to where like people post that meme when people appropriate stuff now, like on the internet now, still in response to appropriation, someone will put up that scene and be like, it's the same thing, and I love that, because it's a great, like, even though it's fun, it's also like a, and even the end when in the end when she walks away with the, sticks her chest out, we all felt that way. We were like, yeah.
And I think to add insult to injury, when they're like, should we change our routine? Even the fans are like, yep.
Yeah.
Change your routine.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like, we got your own fans to notice your bullshit. And I think that was a great, like, while you're shitty, I love when the guys
I
like,
didn't riot.
Go Toros.
And we were just
Go
like,
Toros.
Just change it.
right? I love the moment where where the football team guy looks at Chile, he's like, oh, you guys suck. And then she goes, bitch, you guys lost.
You still
Dude,
lost.
you just lost. Dude, you just lost is
I'm
one
not
of
even
my
here to play
favorite
the
lines of
game.
all time. Dude, you
that.
just lost is like the
Just
best
lost.
response to
You
anything.
can't talk shit to me. You lost.
Yeah, I
not
say that in
even
arguments
playing.
on the internet. Dude, you just lost.
Which takes us to the second act. We get. I do love the scenes with the choreographer. It's crazy. It's stupid. It's out there. But
It's great.
that takes me back to my adolescent humor. Every scene with the instructor, he's like
Sparky Pilastri.
right? Insulting them from the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
And that's
many
why
I feel like that's
he is-
also why the boyfriend character kind of disappoints me, because I feel like Sparky Pilastri had just as much screen time, and we love him.
right.
He could bring so
And-
much more to that.
It was the
know?
boyfriend who suggested it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I felt like on his part, I just feel like every, like, even little side character, even some of the extras, I remember, even for their expressions or whatever. I just feel like he was kind of disappointing. But I do love that whole scene and him breaking down all the girls. Poor things. I was thinking to myself, I can't imagine. Like, I'm so glad I wasn't this type of cheerleader, or my school didn't have these types of standards.
That
I had
would-
enough to worry about.
I feel like that's the kind of moment that you know whether or not you care about cheerleading. Like that's how
Yeah,
you
because
know.
I would have walked off. I would have been like, you know what? Okay. Y'all have a nice day.
One of my pet peeves though, and I don't know if it's a narrative problem or not because it could be by design, is how the fact that Cliff and Torrance get closer, but she doesn't say anything. Like, I didn't realize for the longest time he had no idea she had a boyfriend. That brushing teeth scene.
Yeah.
One, didn't she lock the door? There's a toilet. He just walks right in. She could be taking a
Yeah, I'm
shit.
like, so that's so
There's a
weird.
bathroom,
Like,
they'll find
just
a way.
because somebody's brushing their teeth, you're just gonna walk in. Like,
I know it's your house, but there's a
damn.
right. There's
That's
a
what I'm
toilet.
saying. But that's also why it's obviously flirting. So like he was trying to cheat though from the jump.
So it's like,
He's
yeah,
like, we're
with
both
her,
vulnerable right
He
now.
was plotting.
she
She's
doesn't
like,
know
I'm
about
Jamie
this.
Jam.
As
This
far as
little
she's
backup.
concerned, her boyfriend is a decent boyfriend, and she's still having. Instantly, she's falling for Cliff. Not even.
Yeah.
He didn't have to work hard to even get her.
No. She came
Playing
over there and
guitar.
brushing her teeth. If he even tried to fight her, that would be his response, man. She came into my bathroom.
Right. And then we go to the regionals, and this is where we talked about before about the fact they find out, oh shit, some other team has done the same thing
Sparky
because
double cross them.
choreographer has been double crossing us. It's like
A bunch
whole
of
bunch of
teams.
teams, right, up and down the coast.
Up and down the coast, he said.
He's been getting it. Y'all
then
got
again-
plastered.
Like Mike said earlier on, this is them getting a taste of their own medicine, and I like that it wasn't the Clovers who took it. It was just
Yeah.
some random.
They
other team.
stole a routine. It's the greatest.
You're like,
And I
also
love
like-
her. What's that chick's name too? I love her. It's like a very small role that she plays, but she's great. Is it Darcy? No, I don't know. I'll
Is it the
figure
one?
out
Is it the
before
one that
ends.
wouldn't stay in the lines?
Casey?
Yeah.
Was it
shut up,
Casey?
Whitney. Let her talk.
Yeah, yeah, that one.
Oh, I love her too.
I love her. She has like 5 lines in the whole movie, but every time she's great.
She just
Even when
gets
she threw out the
stronger
protein
throughout-
bar
yep.
after that girl threw up, it's
She
great.
was the one who, when Gabrielle Union walks by at the final competition, and she's like, "Hi,"
Yeah,
and Gabrielle's just like gives her like
because
a
they
mean
were
look and
about
then
to
smiles
fuck
like,
shit
"Hey."
up, man, and they
They were.
do.
She's like,
One of my favorite moments during that first competition is when she waves at Aaron, but then Cliff's behind her.
Yeah, then she's like,
Yeah, and he thinks she's
and
blowing
Cliff
him a
is all
kiss.
gassed. He's like, oh yeah,
Oh, she's like, she gives a
I would have
kiss.
been gassed too. I would have been
I'm
like,
so bad for
yeah.
him. Then Cliff shows up at her house with a button-down shirt. He's been wearing
and
t-shirts
flowers.
And wait,
Flowers and a tape. And a
a
tape.
tape. A tape.
Homeboy
Oh my
made a
God.
tape for her.
What?
Come on.
Not even a mixtape of other
Not a
songs.
mixtape.
His own
And
song.
then she, like-
He wrote and
then
like,
she tries to
made a
justify
song.
it. He's my boyfriend. Well, why have you been flirting with me this whole time? Like,
Like, oh, so I'm bugging?
She doesn't
Okay.
even, no, she doesn't even justify by saying it's my boyfriend. Oh no, he picked me up. Oh,
Like,
so
matter of
no,
fact.
being a boyfriend doesn't.
That's
make a
even
difference.
worse. I would have rather you said that's your man, because now I think random people are dropping you off
Right.
and you just making out in cars with people while you brushing teeth with me. That ain't right.
Right?
why you brushing teeth with me?
It's not right.
But and this is where I think again I just think Cliff's character is just a means to her, because ultimately that song was just a way for her to, like, you know what, stop wallowing. It's his weird way of support. So she's like, you know, I'm gonna bring myself together. Tells the team, you know, let's find our own way. She has confidence, which takes us to the third act, and they decide to kind of make their own routines. It's the first time they've done their own routine. You know, it's low key. This is a story about winning at any cost isn't true. There is a cost sometimes.
This is
and
the
sometimes the
Rocky
cost is not worth it. You know, it's not worth stealing. But what I like though is, and this I got this from the Q&A with the writer, and I never caught this in the film. I don't know if you guys did. Even though they find their own dance routine, it's still based on them taking from other routines. She even says, "Got to copy other routine, got to copy dance, got to copy this." So that was the point on purpose of the writer. It's still their real routine's still not unique. They still need to take from someone else in some form. Which I thought,
Also, random fun fact that I found too, the choreographer of this film, she ended up bringing on Hi-Hat, who's a director a choreographer that's done a bunch of huge hip-hop choreographies. Like, she's done choreography for Missy and a bunch of other big artists. And she brought her on to choreograph the Clovers. So the Clovers actually do have a black choreographer, whereas the Toros have a white choreographer. But she was actually having Hi-Hat come up with the Clovers routines first, and then she was taking their routines and making them stiff and white. And she actually made the joke of, like, you know, like, literally all of their routines are stolen. Like, she even stole them from the choreographer that made the Clovers dances. And she was actually laughing, saying that, like, she was like, she gave the serious dancing to Hi-Hat because she was having way too much fun choreographing the stiff white version of it. She was like, I was having so much fun choreographing the stiff white version of all of her dances that I just didn't even want to, I just figured I'd let her do all that stuff. It's pretty great.
I wanted to speak on the whole, the financial differences, right, in terms of the commentary of that. I did like the idea that
her name was Ann Fletcher, because I didn't say the original choreographer's name.
I like the idea that when Torrance finds out that the Clovers can't go in because they can't pay the admission fee, she gets mad. And when everyone's like, yes, easy for us, she's mad. Like, no, I want to win knowing that we won, or at least I want to face the best. And I like that. But she still has, you can tell she still has learning to do when she's like, Daddy, can you, get your company to pay for this, blah, blah. It shows the disparity, right? If she wants money, just ask. If you really need it, you just ask Daddy, whatever. Mm-hmm. These black kids now, they have to go extra and above and beyond in order to get money. They have to, what was it?
Pauletta.
We love you, Pauletta. We want to tell you, you don't have to lose a pound. We love you just the way you are.
I love that.
I love that whole moment. Because we all have that friend.
Gabrielle Union's looking at her like, shut up.
It's like, girl, come on.
You're making her look bad and shit.
Not now.
And again, like we spoke about in the first part, that whole idea of like, we're not asking for a handout. We're not asking. We're just saying, treat us fairly. Give us the same opportunity. Because ultimately, if you're giving me stuff as a charity case, it almost empowers you, makes you feel you're better than me constantly because I'm dependent on you. And I like that they switched that up. And it's like, no, we'll figure out our money ourselves. And even, I liked when Isis says to Torrance, the best you can do is bring it. Don't hold back just for us.
Bring it on.
And I almost love their friend and me relationship.
Yeah, it's cute.
It works. And I almost want to see further with the
That's
two
what
of them.
sucks is like I wanted a real part 2, not what the hell y'all gave me. Just leave it alone.
Right.
No. Don't call it Bring It On. Call it Cheerleader Trash
Because
Movie.
throughout the story, you can almost see. You can almost, because Isis is first guarded. You can always see like, okay, maybe she's not so bad. Like that moment where she gives her tips when Torrance tells her, hey, make sure you don't step across the lines. And she's like, I don't need your help. Hey, she tells the whole team, make sure. And it's almost like reluctantly they're being brought together. And this is almost like a friendship being built between the two of them. And I wish either the movie kind of developed that friendship more, or we got another film with that friendship together. So I think it worked.
I also feel like both of them would come back. These are two of their like favorite roles. Like Kirsten Dunst has said that this is her favorite role that she's ever played. And that, like, out of all the roles that she's played, this one was most like herself. Because at the time, she was in high school. Which is crazy, too. When they were filming, Gabrielle Union was 27 during this movie.
Well, here's the thing. Watching the Q&A yesterday, Kirsten Dunst was like... Because Gabrielle Union was like, yeah, I was 27 when I did that film. Kirsten was like, what? You're not my age? She had no idea. Up until yesterday.
She didn't even know. Wow. That's like, insane.
I mean, Gabrielle
It must have been
great.
so hard, too, for Gabrielle Union. But I also feel like it speaks to the film. It's like she's at 27 just getting these roles, whereas this 16-year-old...
16, 17.
That's what I'm saying. She was still in high school. She was 16 when it came out. Well, when she was filming. So it's just kind of like, wow, it's very true.
One of my favorite moments in that last act is when the girl sent to talk to the other girl. Oh, don't worry. Nobody saw you do that. And he turned around, her face just
she's bleeding. Now let's go find your tooth.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Or when the other girl throws up in front of the coach. I'm not nervous.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That was more than I remembered.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think I like the fact that it ends with the Clovers winning. And it's funny because it's like you expect that. And I remember watching it with my wife, and because I'd forgotten how the ending, and I was like, oh, the Clovers better win this. I hope they don't do a storyline where the Toros win. It won't make any sense. And I did like that they got second place and their reaction.
But I also still felt like the Toros was going to win. I felt like a part of me was like, yeah, but it was still written by white people. So the Toros are still going to win. They're going to be like, oh, we're woke now. Right. You're still second place. But like, we know. Right. Thanks.
I did like the ending, not because the Clovers won, but because the Toros lost or came second. Because the whole point, again, the narrative of the film is this is their true best because the first time they've done it themselves, and getting second place is great. And I love that when they're first sad and then someone's like, yay, second. And it's like, yeah, second is great.
Yeah, because it's Missy that was the one that was hype.
Right?
Second Missy is not second a bad place. Oh, yeah. You're like,
it's like,
yeah.
When you see the Olympics and someone's like, oh, that person came in third. I'm like, yeah, but you're third best in the world. That's still...
Out of like the world, though.
Still
like, it's not like, like just some like school competition. Like, it's out of everyone.
It's like, it's pretty good. And I think that's the point of this film. I think this movie does a good job of highlighting what it means to win, and what winning is. And winning can be a personal choice. Just because you didn't win the competition, you're winning in certain aspects of life because you're becoming a better person and aware. And obviously, the conversation of appropriation, and not just appropriation, but being aware of it, right? Because a lot of people, you're appropriating things you have no idea, but also that ignorance isn't an excuse, because we live at a time where we can choose to know. If you did the research, and if you question things, and if you didn't, if you ask, because we have to constantly ask questions. Don't just follow unapologetically, because everybody hated Big Red, but they're just like, no, let's just listen to what she says, because that's what we're supposed to do.
And we win.
Yeah.
And we win.
Results. So
How
This
different
is
is that
about
from
winning.
That's like Trump, right? It's like, oh, we don't like him, but let's just keep following him because we feel like he's making us win. So some
but he's
supporters
not
will say-
making us win, so I hope people realize that. Well, it's
Right,
not gonna
exactly,
be on the
exactly.
podcast.
So I think for better and for worse, this is a very timely movie. Too bad it had some terrible sequels. There's like 5 of them. God damn. Like, wow.
Yeah, there's
I
so
know.
many. It's sad.
So-
Because it's like you just really tried to water down this movie, didn't you? You really did. As far as I'm concerned, the other ones don't exist, though.
They
One
don't.
day, I hope
They're their
there'll be
own
like
series.
a reunion, like a high school reunion episode or something. Or like
On that
film,
note- On that note, we're almost out of time here. I actually enjoyed myself more than I thought revisiting this movie. Thank you, Raven.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mercedes.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Rocket Mike.
Oh, thank you.
My name is English Dave. This has been a Bring It On Back to the Feature, and we're telling you, be aggressive. Be aggressive. And as always, Sadie's in cheer form.
Keep it nerdy.
Peace out, guys.
So glad you didn't ask me.